But we've got Noah, we've got the ark, we've got the spirits in prison, we've got the resurrection. In the baptismal formulas, because their idea was Jesus goes down there, he preaches to the spirits in prison, which are not the dead humans, it's these guys. Baptism is important because it is a sign. It's as though you, when you go down below the water and come out, you are mimicking this journey of Jesus. When you go down under the water and come back up, it tells the spirits in prison that they're losers.
You're staying here.
Have you ever wondered who were these spirits that Jesus preached to? When Jesus passed away, when Jesus was in the tomb, the Bible records that he spent 3 nights in hell and he preached to the imprisoned spirits. Dr. Michael Heiser is going to elaborate, give us some insight. Who were these spirits? Before I get into this, I want to recommend Dr. Michael Heiser's books, The Unseen Realm. You got to read this book. This is an amazing book. Now, there's this book here, and you got to have this book, Angels, and you got to also have, of course, the other book, Demons. These 2 books go hand to hand. It's going to open up a different way of looking at things. What are angels and what are demons? I recommend these 3 books, especially The Unseen Realm, right here, The Unseen Realm. Now, with that being said, let's hop right into the video.
The 1 Peter 3 passage, because this is the spiritual warfare passage. And people listening to me right now are thinking, well, I know 1 Peter 3, that's that crazy passage. Where are you getting spiritual warfare out of that? 1 Peter 3, 14 through 22. So you have Peter, for whatever reason, what does he throw into the blender? I'll stick with the meal just for the sake of this. But we've got Noah, we've got the ark, we've got the spirits in prison, we've got the resurrection.
Spirit's still chained.
Right, spirit's still there in prison in chains. We've got, Jesus. Like, what in the world is going on here? Like, what possible relationship?
Defiled themselves with foreign, strange flesh.
Angels, like what? This must have just been a bad day for Peter. Like, I don't know what to write, so I'm throwing it all in there. You will figure it out later. What relationship do these things have? Well, this is the passage, again, as my story goes, when we were in Wisconsin looking for a church. We thought we'd found one because this guy's going through 1 Peter, so we skipped out a few weeks and visited some others. We come back and it's 1 Peter 3 day. And I'm thinking, this is it. This is going to be it, man. This is going to seal the deal right here because this is a weird passage. It's fun. I can't wait to hear what this guy says. So this is the one where the guy gets to the pulpit. I've only ever seen this happen one time. Guy gets to the pulpit and says, well, we're in a series on 1 Peter, and now we're in 1 Peter 3, 14 through 22, and we're just going to skip this. He goes, it's just so strange. I don't know what's going on here. We're just going to skip it. And he did. Like, it wasn't even there. And I'm so stunned.
Another church
it's
that
like,
you just don't fit in.
Right.
Like.
Just put the white flag on the pole and start waiting. Honestly, I thought, what was going through my mind, other than we're not coming back, is, could you just try?
You should have stood up and said, haven't you heard of acid cell?
Could you just try something? Just like fake it or just try. But it's actually not that terribly complicated because you have to kind of know, again, how to approach it, what Peter's doing. And I like to illustrate it this way. It's all about typology. And people say, what in the world's typology? Well, we know what a prophecy is. A prophecy, you read the prophets, it's a verbal utterance of something that's going to happen in the future. Okay? A type is a non-verbal thing or institution or event or person that foreshadows something in the future.
Okay.
It's a non-verbal prophecy. So, the Passover lamb is a type of what happens with Jesus.
Yep.
It foreshadows, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
There's a connection there.
That's true.
So Paul, when he writes Romans, he uses Adam as a type of Jesus, a foreshadowing. He'll talk about Adam, and then he'll see, he'll proceed to go from what we know about Adam to see how this foreshadowed this part of Jesus' life and theology and all this stuff. He uses Adam as a foil or as a type. Peter doesn't use Adam. He uses Enoch.
Huh.
He uses the story of Enoch.
He does.
So we know from Peter, from 2 Peter, that he knows this material well, because he'll allude to things that are in, like the spirits in prison. That's not in the Old Testament with Genesis 6. That comes from other literature.
The book of Enoch.
So we know that he knows this well. And so Peter uses the Enoch story that he assumes his readers know. And if you know the story, Enoch, yes, he walks with God, but this is again in connection with what happens before the flood, with the sons of God, the watchers, and they're being condemned. And so at one point in the story, as it's told in the book of Enoch, the watchers, contact Enoch and say, well, you got a lot of favor with God, so can you go up to God and ask him to not keep us in prison here. We're sorry, it was wrong. We get it. He's right. Could you go intercede for him?
I do want to reference that this story about what Dr. Michael Heiser is talking about here, it's found in the book of Enoch. And you could find this. I do have an audio of the 3-hour long of an audio of the book of Enoch. It's in a YouTube page. So it's one of our videos. So it's the audio of the book of Enoch. But that's what Dr. Michael Heiser is talking about, is the book of Enoch. It's all this, what he's illustrating is found in the book of Enoch, which is non-canonical.
Tells God what the request is. God says, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then he descends to the spirits in prison and he announces to them, oh, you're still doomed.
Yeah.
The answer is no. And then he leaves. Okay, so Peter knows the story. It's connected with the flood. There you got the ark, the water, the whole bit.
That's great.
So when Jesus, he uses all that to mirror Jesus. When Jesus dies, he descends.
Yep.
And we know that part, into the grave. I mean, it's even in the Apostles' Creed. It's just stuff like this. But early church tradition linked baptism, because this is where this story is going to end, with baptism, to a denunciation of the dark powers in the baptismal formulas, because their idea was Jesus goes down there, he preaches to the spirits in prison, which are not the dead humans. It's these guys.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I think a lot of Christians would even think, oh, the dead spirits, those are like, righteous people that died, and now they're getting to hear the gospel.
Yeah, that's, I was taught that the spirits in prison were the people that Noah preached to, and during those times where Noah preached, redemption and salvation, that there was going to be a flood. So Noah preached for 120 years that these are the spirits, these are the humans that passed away, that they were entrapped, they were basically imprisoned in hell, that Jesus went and preached to the humans. Now, that this is not the case. These spirits are not human spirits. These are the fallen, or the Nephilim, or the fallen entities, the fallen angels that cause all this chaos back before the flood.
They're the ones that are in prison. And so Jesus goes down there, and again, this is Mike's paraphrase, but it's like, I know you didn't expect to see me here, fellas. And you probably think that the rest of your compatriots won because I'm dead. No. The answer is no, because I know
He's the second Enoch.
Right, I know he's the second
They
Enoch.
see, that's what Enoch told
You are
yeah.
still defeated.
Yeah.
You are
Okay,
still doomed. You're not getting
it.
out of here.
Wow.
But I am.
So I get it.
I'm.
So I understand what Dr. Michael Heiser is saying, is that it's where Jesus is the type, right? So Noah is the type of Christ, right? Preaching salvation and stuff like that, through the ark and stuff like that. And Adam is the type of Christ. Enoch is also a type of Christ, where Enoch preached to those imprisoned spirits, the fallen angels that are in prison. You got to read the book of Enoch. And when Peter goes to this, he's taking Enoch and Jesus. He's using Enoch as a type of Christ. And because Christ went to hell, to prison, and preached to these imprisoned spirits, these imprisoned angelic fallen beings, just like what Enoch did. So he's using that. So the same way that we use Noah or Adam as being a type of Christ, Peter's using Enoch as a type of Christ.
So that's where the resurrection comes in. So Peter uses the story.
Yeah,
So
there
is
you go.
that he led
analogize.
captivity captive? In other words,
That's something different.
Okay.
There's parts of it that are related, but it's something different because that is conquest language for the dark powers.
so that's when that's probably
Yes.
with the ascension,
ascension,
with the
yeah,
disarming
and then the coming of the
powers.
Spirit and all that.
There's a
Again,
lot of here to unpack.
mess
A
with
lot
the dark
of here to
powers and,
unpack.
with the Holy Spirit. So Peter is actually playing off this story, and he's using it as a type to tell the story about Jesus' death, his burial, and his resurrection. And that's why he says, that baptism, when you're baptized with this story in mind, and he connects it to having a good conscience before God, in faith and things like this. Baptism is important because it is a sign. It's as though when you go down below the water and come out, you are mimicking this journey of Jesus.
Wow.
Okay, we know this from Romans 6. You're dunked and you're brought up, but you're mimicking this. And if you have this in your head, when you go down under the water and come back up, it tells the spirits in prison that they're
You're
losers.
staying here and
They're
I'm
losers.
not.
They
Yeah.
lost.
It's a statement of who you're aligned with.
Yes.
Okay, it's really awesome when you think about what he's doing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like I just saw it differently this time. It's like someone
my
when they
mind's
get
blown on this one.
baptized,
It's
like it's almost
so
like the
right.
Lord showing them off down, like just like Jesus. Guess what?
And it's in
You're
front of,
staying here. I'm not. I'm not part
we've
of
got witnesses.
the realm
again,
of the dead. Wow.
and it's not just human witnesses. This is the supernatural part.
Yeah.
If you're
it almost gives a whole different light to baptism, a whole different meaning of when we get baptized. It's just like a new way of thinking of water baptism. Wow, this is amazing.
thinking about baptism the way Peter was trying to analogize it, who else gets the message of whose side you're on?
Yep.
They do. They do. We've lost another one, and we're still here.
Wow. Wow, this is awesome. This is amazing. Love it. Wow, that was amazing. I'm looking at water baptism in a whole different way. Whoo, that is amazing. Well guys, that's the end of it. And stay tuned for our next video coming up. We'll see you there.